And thank you to One Time Plumber for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio. Happy Monday to everyone listening and watching on our KRIM Radio, Facebook live stream. Hope you had a great weekend, beautiful weekend out there, and hopefully you got a chance to go out to the Fiddle and Food Truck Festival. Had a great time there. Also, Keep Pacing Clean, a big event this past weekend. So many great things happening here in Rim Country this month and next month. And this morning, we're going to be talking about another great event that is really a community event for the community. And it is Lanterns on the Lake. The Time Out Shelter does this event, and joining us in the studio today is Hannah Lusk, the president or chair of the Time Out Shelter Board.
Hello, Rim Country.
Hello. And Mike Patch, the director of the Time Out organization. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for coming in this morning to talk about this event and the Time Out Shelter and the vital role that it plays in our community for so many people from our community and outside of our community. So Lanterns on the Lake. Let's talk about this a little bit first because it is this Thursday.
Yes.
And it's the 4th annual Lanterns on the Lake. And this has become just I know it's hard to say, great event when you're talking domestic violence, but it really is about hope and awareness and having it be a more positive event than just, all negative, which obviously domestic violence is.
And this is a central point that we talk about, and as we promote it and as we get out there. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
So we sort of kick off the month a little bit early by getting out there. And yes, we want to honor, we want to remember those who have been through this struggle,
Mm-hmm.
those who have, in some cases, lost their life to the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to do it in a way that's positive for the community. And by having a place like Time Out, by offering the services we do, we're not there for the pain of it, we're there for the healing of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to promote the healing, the help, the hope that is in the community by us being there for people.
Mm-hmm.
So that really is the central focus. I mean, this is not a downer event. This is a come out, the kids get face painted, they decorate lanterns. We have some quiet time, some opportunity to remember and honor,
Mm-hmm.
but it is really about the hope that is present by the work we do.
Mm-hmm. And I think it does, the event does a great job of showing all of the support that is in the community for people that unfortunately do go through domestic violence. And so they can know, and others can know, it can be shown that they're not alone. There are people, organizations like Time Out Shelter that are there for them, that can help them. And it is a horrible thing, a terrible thing. But like you said, there's hope, there's support, and it's shining that, in the community, right, Hannah?
Yeah, Lanterns on the Lake is one of my favorite events. It's my kids' favorite events. We also incorporate the schools. They do artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So the middle school and the high school, they do artwork that's represented around the park. And we wanted to kind of incorporate bullying in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of our favorite events of the year. We love it.
Mm-hmm. And so the event again is this Thursday, September 26th at Green Valley Park. And what are the times, Mike?
Okay, so 4:30 we'll be out there. At 4:30 you can come out and decorate lanterns. The kids can get face painted. We will have several food trucks out there. You can get your dinner or get some food trucks aren't always the healthiest, but they're so good. So get yourself some good food and start the process and have a little time to relax after a hard day of work. At 5 o'clock, we'll do some announcements and a little bit of talking about the reasons why we're there. By 5:30, we'll have everybody line up, and we will walk around the lake and do a memorial walk, which is very traditional for domestic violence agencies. And then there'll be a little bit more time to do some more decorating of lanterns and get yourself set up. And as the sun goes down, we will launch all the lanterns. Sundown is officially 6:19 on Thursday, but it'll depend on the shadows and everything as to what time the lanterns all start going out. And as Hannah was talking about, having the middle school and the high school kids that are helping with the decorations and things, the middle school's adventure club is gonna be out there in kayaks to guide and at the end of the night round up all the lanterns so that we're being good to the environment as well.
Yeah, that's Scott Davidson and his Outdoor Adventure
He's
Club
awesome.
out there. Yeah, that is, that's great that they do that. There also will be representatives there, public safety, the Peace and Police Department, Fire Department, I
Yep.
believe a helicopter will
Yep,
be
we'll
coming
have a
in.
helicopter, which we've had 3 years in a row, I believe. A new addition is the armored police vehicle that the kids can check out.
Oh, wow.
And then we have a fire truck that'll be out there. A lot of representatives from the town, a lot of partners from the town to show their support for bringing awareness for domestic violence and bullying.
So, oh yeah.
I was
go
gonna
ahead,
say,
Mike.
we've got more than a dozen partner agencies that will be out there. And these are all agencies that in one way or another are affected by domestic violence or in some ways help us in working against it. One of the things I have here with me, and those on radio can't see this, but I've
But
got
hey, they're on Facebook Live, they can see it right there, so
I've
if you're
got
listening, you should be
bandanas.
watching.
And these
Look at
we will be selling, but we will also have our partners, our friends from the Humane Society there,
Yeah.
who will have a couple of dogs up for adoption. And you may wonder why we partner or say the Humane Society is our friends. Last year in a survey, they do a one-day survey of every shelter in the country and get answers from the people that are there about their experience with domestic violence. And last year, of those people in shelter, 74% said they stayed being abused for a longer period of time in order to protect a pet. And we've had situations where we've had to partner with the Humane Society to care for somebody's pet that we couldn't have in shelter. So they are great partners and we're happy to have them out, and they will have their animals wearing our bandanas.
Oh, that's great. That they're that they're included along with the other organizations that you work with, will be out there. For those that might be newer to the community or just are not familiar with the event, lanterns, can you explain what's done with the lanterns? Because people might hear, oh, lanterns on the lake, okay, lights put in them, they're put on the lake, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah, and I think it depends on what your age demographic is, on what you put on the lantern, but we provide markers and crayons so you can color your lanterns. Some people use it to honor somebody who has passed from domestic violence. Some people use it for themselves too, if they have gone through domestic violence. And some people just decorate them because they like putting a colored lantern out on the lake. So it really depends on, the specific situation when the lanterns are put out.
But just to give the basic description, they're little paper lanterns, and I should have brought one, I brought everything else. But they're little paper lanterns, and they sort of unfold into a square box shape, and because they're flat bottomed and have they float nicely on the lake, and they have a little LED light inside, so we'll turn the lights. This year we've got lights in 2 different colors, so there's the traditional pretty amber, and then we have added purple lights, so we'll have purple and amber out floating on the lake. And as it gets dark, the town turns the fountains in the lake, and this is Green Valley Park, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, but at Green Valley Park they turn the fountains on the lake purple as well. So we've got these lit up purple fountains and then all these lanterns, and we'll hope to have 200 or 300 out on the lake this time, and just really enjoy the vision and the idea of lighting the night.
Yeah, because that's what it is about, as you said, shining a light on domestic violence.
Yes.
That's a part of it too, because light exposes. So if things are allowed to stay in the dark, then they're never exposed. So it's good, the educational component of it.
Yes.
And also the light, so people can see that light and know that there's hope.
Domestic violence is traditionally one of the most underreported and under-talked about things, and families have traditionally hidden it in shame. When we provide light, things come out and healing can happen. So the whole idea is to provide a light, a light in the tunnel for those that are in it, and a light for the rest of us to see what's going on. New statistics came out recently, and Arizona has risen to be having the 5th highest domestic violence rates in the country. So we want to shine the light as much as we can, and provide hope for as many people as we can.
Yeah, that's wow, the 5th
Yeah.
highest.
Yeah.
So Arizona, has it traditionally been higher than the rest of the country? Or?
Arizona's traditionally had a little bit higher rates. For one reason or another, states with a lot of space in them and a lot of open area, things happen in seclusion, and it leads to some of these things. So yes, Arizona is 5th highest. I believe they were 7th highest at the last accounting, but unfortunately we've risen. It's 1 in 4 women and 1 in 10 men will suffer from violence from a loving partner.
Wow, that's yeah, it's very, very unfortunate, very sad
Yeah.
when you think about it. And part of changing that is the education, and especially with young people.
Absolutely.
Because I know there are statistics, aren't there, that show if it's happening at a younger age or...
It's harder for them to understand what's going on as well. So to talk about it. Sometimes when it happens often and they don't know any different, they're not taught any different, so they think that it's normal. So
And it's one of the reasons why Lanterns on the Lake, we focus on, we add messaging about bullying behavior. We add messaging about teen dating violence. 1 in 6 girls in this country between the ages of 14 and 21 will have some form of teen dating violence happen to them. And when we say teen dating violence, we mean things like stalking, not just the physically abusive relationships. So, and those things all lead to one another. Bullying, there's statistics showing that bullying leads to one, so we want to tie them all together and bring information about them, because we want these to be things of the past, not things of the future.
Also want to see that number, hopefully our ranking going down instead of steadily increasing.
Yeah.
That would be good. I know the Payson Police Department, a big partner with the Timeout Shelter, and you work closely with
Yes.
them.
Absolutely. I've been able to meet with our 2 most recent police chiefs, and they both have been fantastic in supporting the shelter and dealing with us in a way that supports those who are affected by domestic violence, not just stigmatizes or causes other problems. And that is a wonderful thing about the local police, is they are local. They do live in this community, and they know the problems, and they have been very supportive of us.
Yes.
So I can't say enough good things about the Payson PD.
yes.
Oh, very good. Well, again, if you're just tuning in or just started watching our KRIM Radio Facebook live stream, we're talking to Hannah Lusk, the president of the Timeout Shelter Board, and Mike Patch, the director of the Timeout Shelter organization. And Lanterns on the Lake, September 26th, that's this Thursday, is an event that's open to everybody. Anybody can come out to the event. It is a free event in that you can get a lantern decorate a lantern. If you don't want to get a lantern or don't want to do that, just come out.
Yeah.
Come out, and there'll be some food trucks out there, so you can grab dinner out there. And also, it's just beautiful out in Green Valley Park.
Yeah, come enjoy the view.
Enjoy the view and the lanterns on the lake. It is just a real beautiful sight to see the lanterns out there.
It is.
And while we talk about the town of Payson and how good Payson has been to us, the Parks Department is helping sponsor it this year. But I would also be remiss if I didn't mention Star Valley.
Great. Yeah.
Star Valley is having a ceremony at their one of their council meetings where they're recognizing us and doing a proclamation for
That's
Domestic
great.
Violence Awareness Month. The town of Payson is doing the same. So we will be out at their council meetings in the next couple of weeks for these, and it's just good to have the recognition and the support from our local communities about the issue.
Now, Hannah, how long have you been on the Timeout Shelter Board?
I started in 2018.
2018,
Yeah.
so 6 years?
Yeah,
Wow.
6 years, and so far I'm a year and a half into being president of
Okay.
the Timeout Shelter.
And has it always been a case where, you've seen just a higher level of support, or a lot of
Yes.
support from
The community, we wouldn't be where we're at without the community. And I believe this is Timeout's 31st year operating in Payson. And we have incredible support from the community, coming from supporting our thrift store, which directly supports the Timeout Shelter. All the funds go to the Timeout Shelter. Donations to Timeout come directly from the community. We really rely a lot on the community for that, and we're very grateful.
That's something that we haven't mentioned yet, the Timeout Thrift Store, which is a very popular thrift store. I know you receive a lot of donations and are very appreciative of that, and then volunteers that help out at the thrift store as well. So for those that might not know, where's the thrift store located, Mike?
It's over here, the intersection where 87 and 260 meet. That Bash's Shopping Center, we're in there. We're 2/3 of the way down, going towards Goodwill. And one of the neat things about Payson is there's this grouping of thrift stores all throughout town. And that brings people, when they come to the high country out of Mesa or Scottsdale or Phoenix, they make this a intentional stop because there are this neat collection of eclectic stores, and we like to think we hold a special place in that collection. But from the moment somebody drops a gently used item off at the back of the store, it becomes something that helps generate interest in the town. It becomes something that generates money for the shelter and supports our people in shelter. So it is, we love the conglomeration and the partnership of thrift stores around because they really drive a lot of that.
And that, the thrift store, I know one of the markers, Pizza Factory, right? Like in between Pizza Factory and Copper State Credit Union?
Yes.
is it?
Exactly.
Right in
Yes.
between there. Also, you can learn more about the Timeout Shelter, donate to the Timeout Shelter through their website, timeoutshelter.org. And I love on your homepage here how it says hope wins here.
Yes,
That's
huge.
Yeah, it is. That's
And-
powerful.
And that's the central message of this week's events.
Yes, and so on the website, it also lists all of the different services. A lot of people might know about the Timeout Shelter being an emergency shelter, but also you provide so many services to the individuals that come into the shelter.
There are people in the community who have resettled after being in shelter, and people in the community who've never come into shelter. It wasn't a right fit for them, but they still need the services because they're either going through or they've been through a domestic violence situation. So we actually serve higher numbers of community needs than we do in shelter.
Gotcha.
So we'll see a couple hundred of people in the community each year that we're supporting and helping out and providing one level of support or another. And this can be anything from counseling to group sessions to healing art sessions to lay legal work where we'll help them file paperwork or accompany them to sometimes difficult medical appointments that are the result of abuse. We don't just pick them up and drop them off, but one of our staff goes with them to help them deal with the information and process, and so that's a great program, our Navigator program that helps accompany them to these appointments.
Wow, and so you have, is it a pretty large team then you have working at the shelter, or?
It's a 24/7 facility,
Yeah, because,
so it's overnight.
Yeah.
We have a lot of staff and volunteers that help us both at the shelter and also at the thrift store.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the board, and how many members are currently on the board?
We're at 7.
7.
We're at 6 at the moment, and you know we would love to be at 7 because we like odd numbers.
Yes, it always works better for a board.
Yeah.
Having, just in case with those votes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough, 3-3,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Right.
But our board, there are very few occasions where we have a split vote like that. They really come together and work together to try for the best of the community, and because of that, they very commonly have a unified vision.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, and that's good. That is important. But it is a case where volunteers, you could always use more volunteers. I imagine thrift store.
Yep, we can always use more volunteers or board members. If you're interested in that, reach out to us.
Okay. And the thrift store, wanted to see, it's also listed on the website, the hours of operation.
It's Tuesday through Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
9 to 4 each day. They take Sunday and Monday off, and that's when we do some fixing and cleaning and other things, and give the chance for our staff to have a couple of down days. And then we turn around and do it all again.
Yep. And then the drop-off times, if you have any items that you would like to drop off, the same times other than 1 hour earlier, so 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. the drop-off times. So the store's open until 4, but drop-off cuts off at 3, I'd imagine, so they can get everything inside and kind of put away.
There's some processing and sorting and sometimes cleaning and whatever before it comes in. Now, somebody comes driving up late, do we often turn them away? No.
Mm-hmm.
But it really would help us if people recognize we need that last hour to do our jobs too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And then donations are also can be accepted through the website. Click here to donate online. It takes you right to a page where it's very easy to make a donation through the website, or there's a mailing address as well if you'd like to mail a check, or they can be dropped off, I imagine, at the thrift store as well.
Come into the thrift store, ask them about it, they should know all about it. You can drop off donations there. You can call the thrift store if you have things you want to donate to the thrift store but you cannot transport. Call them in advance and they'll make for arrangements for a couple of guys in a big beautiful truck that says "Time Out" across it to come out and pick up stuff. So we try and make it as easy as possible for people to donate. They're welcome also to call our main shelter number if somebody just wants to know how to call and make arrangements.
All right. So again, Lanterns on the Lake is this Thursday in Green Valley Park. And can you give those times just one more time, Mike?
4:30, the food trucks, the face painting, the decoration of lanterns will all open up. Our partner agencies will be there to talk to you about the things they do. Come see, pet a dog, and come hang out with us. At 5 o'clock, we're gonna do a little bit of speechifying and talking about.
Speechifying. I like that.
Speechifying. You gotta get up
Speechifying.
and speechify. Talking
That's
about
good.
why we're there and what we're doing, make a few announcements. At 5:30, we'll do our memorial walk around the lake, and that's always, I say always, this is my first one. Talk like
It's good though, it's always.
The walk is something that is both energetic and somber, if you can do both at the same time.
It might be your first lanterns on the lake, but it's not your first walk or
No.
not your first
No, it's not.
event with domestic violence organization.
Correct, correct. And then as the sun starts going down and the shadows get long, we will launch the lanterns into the lake, and they will be there to shine in the darkness.
There we go, yeah, it is again, it's quite the sight. It's quite the sight,
It is.
and with the sun setting and with it getting dark, dusk, right at dusk there, and the lanterns being launched out. It is.
It is.
Yeah, and that's where you said it's your kids, it's their favorite event.
It really is, yeah. My daughter told me last year, because she volunteers every year, and she's 11, so
Mhm.
last year she's like, I want to come to this forever.
That's, that's good.
So this year she'll be helping serve coffee with
Oh, okay.
Trish, who is been involved with Time Out for a very long time.
Mhm.
So they'll be paired.
Nice. And serving coffee, huh?
She'll be serving coffee.
Oh, look at that. Hey.
Thanks to Starbucks, they are donating a bunch of coffee to us, so there'll be free coffee out there.
Mhm.
We have 4 food trucks plus a partner agency that'll be doing food. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Waste Management. Waste Management donated directly to support the event, so we got a cash donation from them. And then we've had a number of agencies who have sponsored lanterns, and we'll be thanking them in person and talking about them. But it's been really a wonderful outpouring of support for the event, not just a wonderful event as well.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of organizations, the community really coming together
Mhm.
for this event. It's
That's what-
wonderful.
It is, and that's what we see so often
Yeah.
in this community with events like this, or with organizations that are helping people, youth, or adults, or people that have gone through domestic violence, whatever the cause
Yeah.
is, there are so many people that are supportive of those causes and working together to be successful in supporting those causes. So it's great community, and I would highly encourage you to come out. Again, that's this Thursday in Green Valley Park at the Big Lake. You can't miss it.
You can't miss it.
You won't be able to miss it. If you're out there, you will see the setup. So, well, thank you so much for coming in this morning. It's already that time.
Thank you for having
So,
us.
Thank you very much.
So very welcome, and again, go to the website timeoutshelter.org for more information about the Timeout Shelter and to donate to the organization, or stop by the thrift store right there in the Bashas shopping complex between Pizza Factory and Copper State Credit Union. Well, hey, it's time now to get back to the music here on KRIM with some Jimmy Eat World, Rolling Stones, Steve Winwood, and more. But first, we're going to hear from the National Weather Service to hear what the weather's going to be like today. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
With this morning's KRIM weather forecast, we'll take some surrounding areas on no chance of just for your Monday.
There we go. All right.
Thank you.
Hey,